Hey everyone. This is going to be a series of filmmaker interviews I did for the OutSouth Queer Film Festival right here in North Carolina. I got to attend this weekend as press. So exciting. And this was my first time getting to interview filmmakers since we've started Post Film Clarity. So this was an extra special moment for me in my burgeoning journalism career. Thank you so much to the organizers of OutSouth, which has been running for over 30 years. So prestigious, and it was just an honor to be invited to attend and to speak with everyone. And of course, thank you to Isabel, Julia, Mariana, and Jess, the filmmakers of these shorts, for speaking to me. I was invited to interview several of the filmmakers from one of the blocks of shorts that premiered at the OutSouth Festival this year. This Is Who I Am is a block of mixed narrative shorts that focused on identity and sexuality. You'll have two more chances to see this block of shorts, one being tonight, Sunday, August 16th at 8:20 p.m. at the Carolina Theater, of course. And again, the Carolina Theater will be showing them August 17th, Monday night at 7:20 p.m. I got to check them out before the festival and watch again with the audience, and I can tell you they are so worth your time. And I was so happy to get to talk to all of these filmmakers about their work, about their personal inspirations in their work, and some of the challenges of filmmaking on a budget and on a time constraint. So I hope you stick around to all four of these interviews. They'll air one right after the other. If this is your first time listening to Post Film Clarity, welcome. We usually discuss full length, but I'm always willing to make exceptions for local and queer filmmakers, so we do also cover TV shows from time to time as well. The majority of our episodes, however, are focused on feature-length films. So if you want to join along, make sure to follow, subscribe. We'll start the third season back up on September 16th. Thanks for listening, and enjoy this conversation. I am here with Jess McLeod, who is the writer, director, and star of the short She's Nonbinary.
Yes.
She's Nonbinary, for those who haven't seen the short yet, is about a non-binary person who's in a relationship with a cis man who wants top surgery, and some personality clashing goes on. I don't want to give too much away, but
that's such a gentle way to put what happens. I think that's beautiful. Yeah.
I'm trying to put a delicate bow on it, but let's just say
yeah,
a person is unhappy with their appearance and the other person is unhappy with their future appearance.
Right. Right. Totally.
So thank you for joining me, Jess.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. How did you come up with the concept for She's Nonbinary? Like, how much of this is, I can tell it's very autobiographical. There's a little note at the end thanking your ex-boyfriend, I believe.
Yeah, God bless him. No, I feel like it would be so funny if I have thought about being like, no, I'm not like that. Like trying to convince people that it's not about me. I just feel like that would be so hard to believe that it would make me laugh. But no, obviously that's about me. And it was just like based on a breakup that I had, and then I was feeling so insane after it that I kind of wrote the short in like the way that I felt at the time, which is very clear, Mm-hmm. It was like from breakup to shooting was maybe 3 months because I was getting surgery. So I was like, I have to do this before I get surgery, which is funny now because we're making a feature. So now I'm going to have to get a breastplate for the whole feature.
Not you having to put them back.
And let's talk about that. And let's talk about being humbled, because that's sort of what the feature's about.
Do you have like creative control over what the breastplate looks like? Like how accurate are we going?
Bigger than they were before.
Yeah, good for you.
I think it's the only way.
Exaggerate it, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's so funny. So 3 months is a fast turnaround. I'm surprised by that. Every other filmmaker I've talked to about their shorts that are in this block, they've said anything from, I think, 3 years
Yeah.
to like, I think the shortest one was maybe a year and a half. How were you able to get this done so fast?
I think that's normal and that people should do that. I don't recommend doing what I did. I just have like such a good team of people around me. Like my producers are also my friends and they were very, very supportive and just everybody came together to make this happen for me and I'm so grateful. But yes, I'm taking more time with the feature and everything I make from now on ever again.
That's advisable.
Because it was really stressful. I'll be real.
Of
It was
course.
stressful.
Yeah. And were you a first-time director when you made this short, or have you worked on other projects as a director?
Yeah, I was not a first-time director, but this was the first time I directed and acted in something at the same
Oh,
time.
and
Um,
how did you find that?
Loved it. Loved
Really?
it. I really did. I had such a good time. Everybody told
Okay,
me
Bradley
that.
Cooper.
I know.
But no, there is like a stigma to the actor, director, writer thing.
For sure. And I've been called a narcissist before and I don't think it's entirely wrong. You know, like I think that probably there are some traits in me that are narcissistic, but I feel like in this particular case, I do think it makes the movie better. Um, Also, is just because it is such a personal story to me. I feel like if I was to put another actor in it, I think I would have a hard time like taking myself out of it, you
Hmm.
know? So
Yeah.
I think for this particular thing, it feels right, but in the future, I really plan on doing things where it's not me. But I am having fun. I'm having fun with this one. Yeah.
Can you just identify a couple of people who believed in you early on that got this project on screen so quickly?
Yeah.
And great looking, by the way. Looks
Thanks.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so the DP, her first movie out of film school. She goes crazy.
Stop. Oh,
She goes crazy.
damn.
I couldn't believe it. It looks
Get
awesome.
her booked again
I
immediately.
She's working, believe you me.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so anyone who wants to hire Sydney Bunning, she's awesome. Get in there. Um, so yeah, Sydney was a big part of it, and I
Hmm.
think my production designer, Mia Oberholzer, did my previous short, and they're just like so game for anything that it was like I could throw anything at them and they would be really happy to do it and make it better than my initial idea, which is awesome.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, my producers, Aaron Burgart, Eva Tavares, friends, colleagues, love those guys. I truly would not be able to, this would not have happened if they were not on the team. They were like really encouraging my delusion. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that's beautiful. And that's kind of what you have to do as a producer to a
That's
point.
showbiz, baby.
Yeah. And so they're going to be working on the feature with me as well.
Oh, great.
And so that's, all a guy can dream of, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking, you mentioned the set decoration. I wanna pull that thread a little bit because a lot of what I commented on about the project looking great is just talk to me about the design of that apartment. Like, was that someone's actual house? Where did you find it? Like, was it a set? It looked great. It looked like very lived in. How was that achieved?
Yes. Yeah. So the guy who played Jake, Alex Sonjik, him and his partner lived there. So
Oh.
Pascal was the locations liaison and the still photographer. She's also an amazing actor. It was like very community coming together, making beautiful
Uh-huh.
art. Um, all of that is Mia. Like the house looks nothing like that normally. Like we had to act like it was like we're moving in or I'm moving
Mm-hmm.
in. So it was
Mm-hmm.
sort of like we had to take away everything that was like nice about their place and like make it chaotic and
Mm-hmm.
unfinished and like in between, like in a transition, which I thought was like a nice thing that I didn't intend to do. But then when I was watching it, I was like, oh, a metaphor.
No. Yeah.
Um, yeah.
In
And
between.
just Mia like going in and tearing up that house and Pascal being like, "What are you doing?" And
We'll
then
put it back. We'll put it back.
don't worry. Yeah, everybody again very patient with me. Very like happy to help, even though it was chaotic, which was awesome. Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the set deck? Like any specific piece of art or anything that really stuck out to you?
The picture on the frame TV, you can't really see, but it is a naked woman with huge tits, which I love.
Symbolic.
Yeah. Oh, and also the costume design. Shanti Harris did the costume design, and the shirts are obviously such a huge part of the movie. Again,
Yeah.
something that happened incredibly last minute, which is insane because it actually, I think, like makes the movie work, like the tone of the movie. I think if the shirts weren't like as silly as they are, I feel like it would have been like just a drama, which is not what I wanted. So yeah, I feel like, and then the decision for him to wear his backwards was, I was looking at it and I was like, oh, like I just feel like it's gonna be too on the nose if he wears it facing front. Like maybe we should have him in a different shirt. Like maybe this shouldn't be. And then one of the like stand-ins, Angel Caden, was like, "What if he just wears it backwards?" And I was like,
Turn it around.
"Ian, you're a genius." So
Turn
then
the
like
legs around.
there's literally two shots that I'm over his shoulder and you can see like the boobs on the shirt, and I'm like, if the like those shots are like again what makes the movie. If I had made this movie on my own, it would have been like meant nothing. But everybody else like created all of these things that then after I was like, oh, that's amazing, and I get all the credit, which is insane. It's like I did nothing.
And I came up with this all by myself, and
What I mean, it's like I could so easily like I think convince people that like these are all the machinations of my mind, but unfortunately no. Like unfortunately I did almost nothing. Which is really crazy.
I'm sure that's not true.
Other than pick the people, which I think is, that's a talent in itself.
Crucial.
I'll give myself that. I brought together a team that I really love, who are very creative and so talented, like without me. And so all together, they really created something that was like much bigger than what I initially could dream of, which is kind of what you want.
Yeah, no, talent scouting and team building, and yeah, that's the main part of being a director from my limited experience. It's just like you're a project manager and you're making sure that you have the right people working together to get shit done and get it done on time.
Sure. Yep.
I love that. Yeah, the boob shirts, like having such a serious argument while you're wearing just the dumbest thing possible. I always think of like couples fighting on like Halloween or
Totally.
some big moment and you're just like in fucking clown makeup or like thigh high boots and like cat ears, and you're like, this is so stupid. Like I cannot believe this is my life right now. Like I've had so many arguments where I'm like just not in the right outfit.
Totally.
I love that part. I'm shocked to know that was like a last minute thing. It seems so like intentional.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the universe said, I've got it on this one, I guess, which was really nice. Yeah, it was like Shanti brought in many different shirt options. The shirt that I wore was kind of like a team effort between me and Mia and Shanti. And it said, I forget if it's like really, you can even really see it in the short, but it's like, what did it say? It's like, oh no. It has two fish kissing, and then it's like a fishing shirt that's like women are crazy or something. It's like this. It's like one of those shirts that like
one
dads
of those like
in their 60s like pick up at the corner store. Like it's.
I was just gonna say it's like the Bass Pro Shop. Like exactly. I hate my wife shirts.
Yes, exactly. So I really wanted something like that, and I thought that was funny. So then Shanti was like, "Okay, if you want like more like funny stuff, like here are two shirts like from my friend." That are like naked women in bikinis. Thoughts? And I was like, yeah, I really like this. Yeah.
Perfect. There was also, I'm sure this was not a happy accident, but I love that "Be Like a Woman" needle drop.
Thank you.
It, oh man, when that music kicked in, I was like, well done.
Can I ask something? Because I literally saw something 1 hour ago on
Hmm.
I don't have TikTok because my brain like it's like too good. Like it's just
Yeah,
too good for my brain, so I just can't
it's a
have it.
dopamine hit.
So
Yeah.
everything kind of gets to me a little bit later.
Hmm.
Is I saw somebody doing a reel to that song. Is that a TikTok sound now?
Yes, babe, that's how I know it. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I love this song.
Has it
Yeah.
been for a while?
No, pretty recently.
This is crazy because
Zeitgeist.
this is crazy. That's all. And again, not me. Music supervisor, Michaela Simmons. We went through, this was the hardest part of the short was finding the end credit song. Like
I believe
I
it.
had one that I really wanted initially that like we went through many months of like back and forth with the people. We obviously
Hmm.
didn't have a lot of money. And then eventually they were like, no. And we were like, oh. And then there was another song that I really, really wanted, didn't get. And then there were two options at the end, and I initially was like, oh, I think it's the other one. And then I watched it and I was like, it's not. Oh no. So then finally we went with Be Like a Woman, which was ultimately totally the right choice. But it was always going to be something like a little bit ironic.
Hmm.
But this one is quite like hitting the nail on the head, which I enjoy. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
but in a great way. It's like
totally.
I like when music fits into the theme, but also like I don't know, even without that needle drop, you would have gotten what was going on, but I felt like it was just like a perfect finisher of like what we had just seen. I can't believe you didn't know that was like a viral TikTok song right now. It's yeah. I think since maybe earlier this summer.
I can't believe. I really can't believe. That's like really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Michaela, invisible. Michaela's like
How
ahead of it.
yeah, that's why I was like, how quickly did you make this? Because
No, we made this. We decided on that song. I mean, probably in like, I think we like signed those papers in April.
whoa. Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the movie was like made over a year, like a year and a half ago. Um,
Crazy. That
yeah.
timing is that's divine timing
Beautiful.
right there.
Beautiful.
It's so good. I'm gonna put a link to the song in the show notes for listeners who haven't heard it yet.
I feel so old. That's so funny. I feel so old.
You're like, do the kids like that?
Like,
What's
wow.
going on the TikTok?
Wow. That's tragic for me, but it's okay. It's
No,
good for
it's
me. It's
great.
good
It's
for my
great.
mind. It's the only way
No,
my mind can survive.
it's much healthier
Yeah.
than yeah. My screen time is just atrocious lately. So yeah,
Like,
you're
yeah, the only time I've heard that song is in the context of the movie. And like, because I didn't know it when Michaela sent it to me. And then I was just on my phone on like YouTube Reels, YouTube Shorts or whatever they're called
yep.
today. And I was like, what?
Oh
Like,
yeah, that song is everywhere.
hello? And then I looked at your questions and I was like, is this a thing that I didn't know
Hmm.
about?
Hmm.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. Really
Oh,
cool.
I love that I got to break that to you live.
This is awesome news. Thank you.
Yeah. And on a similar note, what's been your favorite reaction to the final product? Like what it could be from a someone who worked on it, a family member, an audience member. I don't know if anyone's seen it yet
Yeah.
besides
Yeah.
Out South.
We played Cleveland and we
Uh-huh.
played Tribeca. And I was there for both of those.
Hmm.
And uh
Oh, so you'll come for Tribeca, but you won't come to North Carolina. Got it.
I know, I'm sorry. My job.
I'm
They
kidding.
keep me here.
I'm kidding.
They keep me here. I actually really did want to go because I'm working with Zach Galifianakis and he was like, I'll tell you everywhere to go because he's from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll give you an earnest answer and then I'll give you like a thing that I found really funny.
Oh, perfect.
There was a person that was friends with Alex, who plays Jake, and he watched it, and he's like quite a conservative guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched it and was like, I really feel like I understand something that I didn't, like, that I couldn't understand before. Like, I was like totally on the ride with Jake. Like, every time he had a realization, it was like I was having one too. And it gave me like a lot of perspective and empathy. And I was like, obviously, that's what I wanted to do. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then my favorite thing that's like genuinely makes me laugh, like no tea, no shade at all, is when men will review the movie on Letterboxd or in articles and misgender me. Like, almost nothing is funnier than that to me. Like, they watch the whole short and then they write like a very thoughtful review sometimes. Like, it'll be like really like detailed and like they really like watched it and like they understood a lot of it. And then they'll be like, and her tits were so like it's like it literally.
Oh my God.
Like, and I'll take it, you know? I'll take like, any kind of engagement, you know?
So close.
Like, please engage with the film. I'm not going to police. I think part of like the joke of She's Non-Binary is that like ultimately it really does not matter. Like, it's like that does not matter so much to me anymore. And I feel like if people are like thoughtfully engaging in any way, and that's the part they miss, almost better than them missing the deeper stuff. Like, I'm like, you can call me she, her if you understand the deeper meaning. Like, and that's kind of the point of the short too, is like, the problem is not that he's misgendering them. The problem is like that they have these two people have like a fundamental misunderstanding of each other.
Yes.
But the misgendering is not,
I feel,
not the problem. Yeah. So yeah, but it just does make me laugh. Like, I really do get a little giggle out of it.
It's classic.
Yeah. I'm like, totally. Like, yeah.
That's so funny. I love that. I love that you gave me both like a serious and a funny answer. You're the first to do that. And I know you just mentioned Zach Galifianakis, so I'm assuming you have something upcoming. If you want to plug, what are you working on, Jess? Besides
when
your
does
own.
This come out?
Oh, like tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So I'm working on season 2 of this show that I did season 1 of as well. It's called The Audacity, and it's coming out on Netflix actually on August 19th. So everybody in America can watch it on Netflix.
Perfect.
Really fun show. Really, really dark, but really funny. Like, super, super satirical, in my opinion. Some people think it's a drama. I can't imagine how that would be true, but again, who am I to say? You know,
we have to open the schools. We have to open the schools.
We have to open the schools. And I'm in Jane Schoenbrun's new movie. I have a tiny, tiny role in that movie. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma.
Oh my God, amazing! Out this weekend in Raleigh.
True. It's like maybe the proudest I've ever been to be in something. I can't believe that I'm in that movie. They're my favorite.
So exciting.
Ever. So yeah, go see that in the theaters. Tell your friends, go see it in the theaters.
I'm seeing it Sunday.
Nice. Oh my God, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
I can't wait.
I think that action movie that I did called Normal with Bob Odenkirk is also coming out on streaming any day now if it's not already. Me being bad at promo, but it's out, or soon it's out, so you could watch those things if you wanted.
Jess, why are you talking to me? You're like really famous.
No, I'm really not. This is like kind of, I don't want it to be more than I am now, you know, like I'm good with this.
I was like, oh my God, wait, I'm talking to a really famous person. Holy shit.
No. And then what was the last thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, we're making the future version of this. So if you're interested in that and you want to kind of follow along and support, we have a She's Non-Binary Instagram. It's literally She's Non-Binary on Instagram, and you can follow, and we post updates there sometimes. And it helps us with the movie if people see that people want it, or people are like interested. So
gotta have interest, gotta have followers.
So if you guys want to follow it and comment and stuff, even if you're like, I hate this, honestly, okay.
No one's gonna hate
I'll take that too. I will. because at least it's creating discourse, which is kind of what we need in this day and
That's
age.
that's so healthy of you. Do you have a
Yeah.
really good therapist? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can tell. I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But I
yeah,
haven't,
they have a good therapist.
it's been a couple weeks since I've gone, and I feel like the like evil in me is rising, so I should go back.
Oh, babe,
Yeah.
as it should. No, honestly, look outside. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot to feel fucking ruthless about.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm
Thanks.
like in my like sunshine yellow dress, but I'm also like,
I'm mad. I'm
I'm
mad.
fucking furious
I'm so mad. Yeah. Totally.
all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
I'm just a rage monster, but
Totally.
I'm an Aries, so
That's beautiful. And
what are you
that's
gonna do?
beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to connect with me and
Thanks
to
for having me.
connect with the North Carolina film audience.
Yeah, I wish I could be there in person, but I'm happy that I got to do this for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm here with Isabel Lammers, the writer, director, star, and producer of the short film Kaya, which is at OutSouth this weekend.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Excited to have you. You are the final OutSouth interview I'm doing for
Yay.
2026. Yes, you're closing me out.
That's amazing.
So my first question, I just want to dive right in. How did you come up with the concept of Kaya, and also the follow-up? How long did it take you from writing the script all the way to premiering at OutSouth?
Well, first of all, I'm super grateful to be at OutSouth. Yeah, it's just a dream, like to show in festivals like OutSouth. I'm just so excited. But and when you start, you never would think where you end up. So yeah, it's very exciting, and I recommend to anyone who has ideas like that to go and share them. I started writing, let's see, in I think 2024. So like end of that year was when I had the initial concept in mind. And I was actually in the US on like doing acting training scholarships, and I was doing workshops, and I learned about Filipino martial arts in the States. And so I was like, this is
Ironic.
such a funny post-colonial experience, because like we are in the Philippines sometimes so disidentified with our own culture and don't value it as much. But then Filipino migrants here in the US are like reclaiming their heritage. And so they kind of introduced me from abroad. And so, yeah, I went back home and I started writing, and I was training also in the Philippines. Obviously, the Filipino martial artists are there. Like Arnis is very big. So I've found the groups, and it's still a bit niche, but like it was just amazing to reconnect on that part of, my identity, and learn that there even is a martial art that is Filipino, because I had no idea. I was doing kickboxing and I did some karate and judo, but I did not know about this. So, and I think it came about also in LA because there are so many Filipino Americans that share, I think, a similar fish out of water experience that I had. And in the Philippines, it doesn't happen so much to most people, I think, because, you're Filipino, you grew up there. But if you look like me, it's kind of a different story. But people didn't identify with it as much as here. And so talking to people here really helped me to see like, oh, this is a thing that others experience too. It's not just my issue. Because I was dealt with often with like, this is a sensitivity that you have. And for those who didn't see the movie yet, a lot of our main protagonist's issue is that she is perceived as white and not so as a foreigner, even though she is half Filipina. Mm-hmm. And for her, the whole claim is trying to show and prove that she is Filipino, which doesn't work so well. So yeah, that's where it came from, and bringing that together with martial arts. It's hard to explain that bridge, but it just came to me at some point, and I was like, it's basically the same. You're trying to prove to be part of a group. You're fighting for, your right to be there. And yeah. I don't know.
It's a
This
battle.
game.
It's a battle of identity and also a physical one as well.
Exactly.
I've been asking this question to all of the filmmakers. I just think it's something that's interesting and kind of a little off the beaten path, but who believed in you early on that helped you bring Kaya to life? It could be a friend, a family member, someone who worked on the project with you directly, who was crucial to the early stages of this short and getting it off the ground.
It's funny because like I know some people were on the journey, like for example, our stunt coordinator Nico Ramirez was on the journey the whole time. He was also one of the first people I trained FMA with. But there's like sometimes, you know, these random people that come into your life, not random, they can also be like my half sister, for instance, has always been a support and always just believed in, you know, put out your voice and it's gonna, you know, someone is gonna benefit from it. It doesn't like need to be like a success. It's more about sharing and, you know. But there's been people, like I met a first AD randomly on the train who was on a big project, and we ended up talking, and they also like read the script and were like, you got to do this. This is the story. Like, this is your identity story, and you need to direct it, you know? And it's like sometimes these small moments, and it's like really helpful to pick those out, because there's also opposite moments where some people are like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why are you doing this? So
Right.
it really, like, you'll have these moments, I think, where, or for me, it was like that, where it's, you know, when you get like goosebumps maybe, or something just like clicks.
Yeah.
And yeah, those were the moments that kept me going. And then there was, I don't know if you heard about the film, Alex Chen has a movie called Thirsty Girl, and it's about sex addiction. But she is a first-time filmmaker, also like half Asian heritage, like mixed. And she brought her first short into Sundance. It was accepted into Sundance.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and I was just like, for me, that was just like that one story that showed me that there is a path and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes it's so
you need to
daunting.
see you to be you.
Exactly. Because if you don't have any vision, it's too scary to know where you could end up sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I actually reached out to her on Instagram. She read over the script. She gave me some pointers. So that was amazing, because then I was really propelled to move forward with
Oh,
it.
that's incredible. So it was like even if it was digitally, it was like a meet your heroes kind of moment that ended up
Exactly.
benefiting
Like,
you and the project.
yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love
And
when
she's making her feature right now from that proof of concept that she did back then. So, you know.
incredible. Incredible. I hope y'all get to collaborate one day on
Right.
something.
If we ever get to meet in real life.
Right. Well, it seems like from the other interviews I've done, it seems like most of these productions are happening virtually now.
Yep.
I talked to another filmmaker from this block of shorts who said her producer was in Chicago and she's
Oh,
in
wow.
LA. So like, yeah, and another one is about a Brazilian filmmaker who lives in Brussels, Belgium. So that's an international project
Cool.
as well, where pretty much everyone was virtual until the actual shoot. So it seems like that's kind of the way of modern filmmaking.
Mhm.
You don't really have to meet in person anymore. For better and worse. But
Yes,
there is some
exactly.
benefits to there.
Mhm.
Sometimes the internet is good.
Yeah. If you know how to vet the right
Yes,
people, I think.
true. True. And speaking of which, that leads me perfectly into my next question. You teed me up for that. Tell me about the casting process. Speaking of vetting people, how did you cast Kaya?
How did I know how to prep that question? No. How did I cast? So that's a very interesting topic, because we didn't really. I had an open casting call, and I tried, like, especially for Malik, I had like a very specific vision. And I auditioned people and I picked someone, and then we couldn't get them because our shooting schedule got delayed. And yeah, we had a bit of a difficult production at the end of the day. Like the producer I worked with was someone I met on the internet.
Uh-oh.
And it worked out, like we have the film and it's doing the rounds, but like that was one of the things where it was hard to communicate, and we ended up shooting on a different schedule. So I had to recast and find someone who was available. So that's full honesty that's what happened. Still, we're really happy with EJ, who we ended up casting. And then for our Angel, it was also different. We had someone else cast first. But that role was really hard to actually staff because she was supposed to be in her 50s. But I couldn't, with my budget and my resources, I couldn't find the lady who like has the stunt fight ability to do the final fight that we had. And so it was like a really hard choice because I had a terrific actress that I wanted for her to play the lead, but we couldn't afford a double. So yeah, so this is something like where you as a filmmaker have to like make these choices, and you're like, is the fighting more important at this point for this role and for the scenes we have, or do I have to cast the actress? And in our moment, in our situation, the fighting was more important. Because it was a fight film and it had to sell. And because I'm like still trying to pitch this as like, it's a women fight film. Like women made this. It's a female DP. It's a female choreographer. It's a female director. Like we needed the fighting to be good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and
I actually went and Googled for Filipina stunt woman, and I contacted one on Instagram, and she's amazing. And she's actually transitioning into acting right now, like started during our shoot. So yeah, she's fantastic.
Oh, that's great. So this is going to be a launch pad for her next step as well.
Exactly.
And is this your first film? Is this where are you in your filmmaking journey when you come to Kaya?
This is my debut. So I directed this from the scratch. I also didn't first intend to direct it, but the local directors in the Philippines the ones we contacted were auteur driven, so they wanted to direct their own work.
I see.
And at the end of the day, it made sense because it was all my vision. So now looking back, I can't even imagine having someone else direct it and then me just standing there and being like, no. Wait, no.
Right. That's not what I meant.
Exactly. Because it's like, yeah. So that was my first one. I wrote before. I co-wrote a short once. But yeah, that was it.
Well, this is an impressive debut. You can't.
Thank you.
Couldn't even tell it was your first time directing. You did a great job.
I think the people on set knew.
Well, that's behind the scenes. They don't. I'm not interviewing them.
Yeah. And our AD, she was so supportive because she knew that it is basically the first time that you, like, of course I've been on set, but I don't know the whole, A to B fit, like what runs behind.
Yeah.
So she had to tell me at the last moment when she was like, do you want to call it? And I was like, what do you mean? What's happening?
Call who?
Exactly. And she had to whisper it into my ear, and she was like, it's a wrap. And I was like, oh, yeah, right.
Yes, that's me. Oh, yes. No, yes, no, we're done.
And I was so excited. I just jumped up and down and said, it's a wrap. And then I hit my head on like something at the top, and everyone's like, oh, director, are you okay? Okay.
See, that's that first time director's enthusiasm. So how did you settle upon the location of Kaya? This is on location in the Philippines, right?
Yeah, it was tough. We had 2 scouting days, which like, again, in a short budget, like you're just like, we don't have time and money for this.
Just pick something. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we drove out back to the countryside. Like it took like 2 hours to get out somewhere. And then we ended up somewhere where we're like, we can't even shoot here.
Man.
And then like we visited a gym of someone's friend, and it was completely open. So there was no glass windows or nothing. So you would hear all the traffic from around.
Oh.
And it was like very scenic, but it's like, what are we going to shoot here? So
Bad for
yeah, it
audio.
ended up, exactly. And so we had, I think both the house and then the gym we found on the second day. But it was a lot of driving around, looking at places, and then, taking like screenshots of the scene and seeing, can we film this here? Because we did have a lot of different locations in the script, but we kind of placed them all around the gym or the house. So there's even a street scene that was supposed to be filmed over a bridge or everything, but we didn't get the permit, so we kind of faked a street in the gym, near the gym, outside of the gym.
Oh, I see. So it's still technically permitted.
Exactly. And there's like these clever
outside
things that the team managed to do. For instance, we had the gym location for one day, but then we managed...
So you did all that in one day?
Not quite, because we used the outside of the gym on the other day. So somehow that was okay, because then they could rent out the gym to the people who use it and didn't lose money on it.
Oh, smart. I see.
So, like sometimes I feel like on a budget, you were going to be more creative because you have to.
You have to be. Exactly. Yeah. That seems to be the sentiment amongst all of the directors I've spoken to for this block. It was basically, we didn't have money and we had to figure out something else to do that made sense with the money and the time that they had. You're in good company there. So this was a stunt heavy project. This is a martial arts short film. How were the stunts coordinated, and what was it like for you? Did you have to train all of that? Like, how far did you take this experience so that you could perform these stunts yourself?
Yeah, this was I did train, like I think I started 6 months or more, 9 months before, to just start building it up. I don't have enough like taekwondo or whatever training to like be good. So I had to train a lot of the choreography things step by step, like some of the like the spinning kick at the end. I had to really, really work that to be able to do it. Because we also wanted one takes and not like cut things away, because sometimes you can just show the upper body so you don't see that the feet actually don't go anywhere and stuff like that.
Like those bad like 70s 80s action movies.
Exactly. Because then again, like that's what you're starting off with. Maybe not. So I really worked on that closely with our stunt team here in LA, and I'm like, that was like the time we had, the most time we had for it to prep, because the pre-vis, so with stunts you often do a pre-visualization, so you pre-film the fight, how you will cut it, when you will cut it, what the camera movements are, and all that. And we did that here with like a professional stunt team. Some of them worked so it's like with the people from 8711 who work at like John Wick and everything. So some of them helped us. And then Lauren Mary Kim, who was like a big stunt actress, she choreographed the fight. And because the final fight scene, and that's, I think, interesting for some people, the final fight scene is the final scene of the film, and there's no more speaking. So there's no more dialogue about how the film ends.
Oh, yeah.
So it just ends with that. So a lot of the storytelling had to be in how the fight goes, how they fight, which fighting style they use, and, how someone surrenders or doesn't defeat the other person. So yeah, we kind of did a lot of work on that and practiced it and ran it and recorded it. And then we took our previs to the Philippines with our DP, and we practiced that as well with our stunt actress or our actress in the Philippines. We did like 3 rehearsal hours at least with the camera woman, and then she herself and our stunt coordinator, Nico, they were training like nonstop. So yeah. And the good thing too, for everyone who's curious about fighting, EJ, our Malik, doesn't have any fighting background. So he looks good because he trained the right way. And then, and then there's movie magic also. So But they put in so much work, and it was just beautiful to watch, like how they trained and how committed they were in really trying to get this down. And imagine someone who's never held sticks or been like, just the coordination of using two sticks at the same time is super hard if you start.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
thinking that when I was watching it. I was certain I would walk out of many sessions with a black eye. There's just no way. That's what scares me about nunchucks too. It's like I'm gonna hit myself in the face. I know I am. You mentioned the concept of physical storytelling when you were speaking about the stunt coordination. So, do you have a favorite physical storyteller? Do you have a favorite action star? Is there any kind of style of fighting or of filmmaking that you like to see and that you want to see more of?
I think I would say Filipino martial arts. I can't really say anything else right now. Is my favorite because it's so diverse. It has so many like aspects of moving between empty-handed to weapons to different kinds of weapons to creatively using weapons. And it's so survivalist, like it's made for anyone. Because a lot of like some fights are really like, if you're me or you're like a woman, like you're not gonna be so successful with it. So I really like that about FMA, that it's a survival art more than a martial art, so to speak. And then I guess, I mean, I do love the John Wick movies, so Keanu Reeves for sure. But
Me
like
too.
probably Michelle Yeoh is like an idol.
I love her.
And I had that
love
crazy
her.
idea that I tried to like email her agents, which obviously nothing happened. Just saying.
Good. So good. As
But
you
like,
should.
I just tried. Like she would be the
Yeah.
perfect one to be.
Yeah.
to be.
Oh,
She could have
absolutely.
played Angel. That would have been so cool.
Yeah. The like all-seeing, all-knowing trainer. Yeah.
Exactly. The no bullshit. Like I don't want any beginners here kind
Right.
of trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Michelle Yeoh. That's such a great answer.
Right.
She's and she's been doing it like 40 years or something. Just
And
so
even
cool.
like the Everything Everywhere All at Once, I'm so
Yeah,
like
of course.
amazed at how interesting their fights were and like what all the things that happened. Like it's
Right, because they're funny too. Like they're funny, they're heartwarming, but they're also stunts. It's also fighting.
It's also skill, like really
very
good
much
skill
so.
to get that. Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, how like Jackie Chan back in the day is like, he used to be this, like his movies are so funny, but
Yeah.
it's also like life and death stunts that he's doing, and
That's
just
like
amazing to
another
watch.
level. Like
Yeah.
if I like, Jackie Chan is like just out there. Like I read
like,
his
how did you do
autobiography.
this?
I met people who worked on his stunt teams, and it's just, I feel like that's another level.
Like, how are you alive?
I know. And still up to this day, he's filming and he's
Yes.
working. It's
Yeah.
impressive.
I love people like that.
And with him, it's really like he coined his style, right? He has this very
distinct
specific,
style.
yeah, genre even. Like I feel like
Yeah.
action comedy without Jackie Chan, like
Yeah, it's like a Buster Keaton type of martial arts.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
great. I love that. Do you have a favorite action movie? Anything like, what did you grow up on, or how long have you been into action
How
movies,
long?
if at
Oh,
all?
that's a good question. I mean, I think I always watched them because I grew up with like my older brother, and my dad being very close, and like we always watched action. So I can't even tell the names. I just watched them. Like, but I guess favorite ones. I just recently watched The Furious and I really enjoyed it.
I've been dying to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
There was just so much going on.
Oh, I really want to see it. It was
Yeah,
only
it was
here
fun.
for like 1 week and I missed it.
What?
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
So you recommend The Furious?
Yes, for sure. And then, I mean, I think I also enjoy a lot when like the action is part of, the story as such. Like it's not necessarily like, of course, like I'm not going to say I didn't love all the John Wick movies and like Matrix and stuff like that. But that's the thing. Like Matrix, for instance, I would say the fight is like secondary. It's not action, it's sci-fi. And so I love all of these too, where it's kind of like you tell the story in the fight.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like blended into another genre. Me too. What's your favorite reaction that you've gotten to Kaya, to the final project?
I think it's people coming up to me and thanking me. It's gonna make me cry. But it's just like people saying that they really feel seen and they're like thankful that someone's talking about that. Because like I always felt kind of lonely with, you know, this issue because it's not really an issue. It's a non-issue, right? But just to have people say like, thank you for talking about this. Thank you for bringing this up. Someone even came up and said they were an FMA, like they were training FMA, and they were like, thank you for bringing up FMA. Like no one knows about it. And finally, like there's a movie about it. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, you're like putting it on the map.
Yes.
And especially in like a queer movie too. Like that's just, it's groundbreaking.
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, OutSouth is the first queer festival that took the film. And I'm really hoping it's going to go more. I just didn't, like, I was very conflicted about how subtle or not subtle I would put queer identity in there. Because it's part, like, it's part of my identity. And I was like, how do I do it?
How did you find that balance?
It was hard because I didn't want to be like, I somehow didn't want it to be like a poster. Like this is a, you know, I wanted it to just be there. And, you know, why, you know, it's just normal. It's there, you know. But then we had this kind of discussion when they like mock him for Malik specifically. And then there's also like Nia being mocked for, you know, not being feminine enough and all that. So that's, and for both of the characters, they have that kind of thing in there. But I didn't want that to be the main story still. But it's part of their identity and it's an important part. And one of the main reasons how they can connect. So, yeah. It was a balance. I was like not sure because especially in the Philippines, people were like, we don't want the athletic team to look like they're bad people because they mock, you know, the gay fighter.
Oh, I see.
But I was like, well, but we're not saying it's good. We're not saying that, but yeah.
I thought you struck the right balance. Like the queerness of this short is very present, you know, in the main character, but also in the friend that she makes who teaches her how to fight, you know, as well. Like I feel like it was, I don't know, there was just like a good chemistry there where it's like a silently coming out to each other kind of moment where you're
right?
like,
oh, I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. Yes.
And I'm like, I got it.
Yes. That's when I'm
I
like,
see what's
you know,
happening there.
This is going to be added to my list of favorite reactions.
Oh, thank you. So your favorite reaction is me?
Yes. Because when people actually get what I was trying to do, it's like, it's mind blowing because you never know if it's going to come across. And especially I think as a filmmaker in the visual arts, you usually struggle with explaining and with words. That's why you're trying to make it visual. So you're like, this is what my head does. Do you get it?
I'm showing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally got it. There's like this, it's just like this subtle look of, like understanding, you know, like, I see, like, it's probably like, when you're out somewhere and you see like another Asian person and you're like, you know, like,
you're like,
yeah, I do the same thing when I like spot another black person somewhere. I'm like, it's like that silent.
I have an eye on you without you knowing that I'm having an eye out for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I felt between those two characters. Yeah, it definitely comes across. So,
and it's interesting because the film industry in the Philippines is actually pretty queer. But
I didn't know
outside of the film industry, it's not that queer. Like the older generations, I guess even my cousin generation, there are some, if they're outside of like more open fields of, I don't know, work, I guess, they're still going to be like weird. So I was like, we still can bring this up because it still is an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have, I know you just got off this crazy, 2-year experience making this movie, but do you have anything upcoming, perchance?
I do. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
what are you working
on the
on?
feature for this.
Okay.
So I want full-length action feature in the Philippines, hopefully. But I'm also working on a vertical. And
okay. Tell me about the vertical.
it's going to be a crazy dark comedy thing with
I love that.
it's just very crazy, but I just wanted to experiment with something of, that is a looser format and that can get you viewers quicker. And because that is like instant feedback. And so I want to like learn working with that and see how that goes, because this was a big lift, especially for someone like me with no connections and like just, going somewhere new, starting this for the first time. Like, it is hard. Like, you have to raise funds, you have to convince people to be on board. And then, yeah. So I want something that is a bit quicker.
Basically diversify your audience.
Yeah, lower entry level to like actually get stuff made. Because you can experiment with stories, you can experiment with format, try out ideas, and then if that's successful, then you can make it big. But it's just, I don't know, I'm just intrigued by the idea of that.
Yeah, it's fun to experiment, and especially when it's, I don't know, I don't want to say not low stakes, but it's like the reward is so much greater than the risk, It's like,
exactly.
It's the
true.
potential to reach millions of people from their phones,
Yeah. Exactly. And that was like a crazy experience of we did one video skit and it had like 6 million views and it just exploded.
Whoa.
And it just is an experience of like, oh, interesting. Like, oh, because it reduces all the entry barriers for filmmakers, because we can tell stories without having someone tell us how to write them and how to make them. And then, I mean, obviously, and then Obsession also happened. And
right.
Backwards, and now everyone's like, independent film and social media.
Crazy.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, there's talented people who just don't have the resources to show their talents. What?
How did that happen?
Damn, that's crazy. It's so funny. Yeah, that was a really good thing to bring up. It's so funny watching the industry like circle back on itself to, we should fund small independent projects. It's like, yeah, no shit. How do you think that like PTA and Tarantino and all those guys got to be who they are?
Exactly.
Like, did we just forget the last 40 years of filmmaking? Like,
yeah, I mean, think of Rocky.
Right. He made that himself.
Yeah, like, and now they're making a movie about him making the movie. So
it really is just yeah, it's very circular. But I'm glad to be on this side of the timeline because I get to meet people like you and see smaller independent works that can have a huge impact. And like you said, it's the barriers are breaking down again. I hope for up and coming filmmakers.
Yeah, and they're also like higher at the same time because the industry is like so stagnant at the moment that everyone who was like, more successful or more hired is now moving down to taking, even lower jobs. So, people, it's like, yes, I'm writing my features, but also I need something else to do. I need something to actually generate, and work and not just sit. And so I think it moves us to be more autonomous and do our own thing.
I hope this is the beginning of like a indie new wave. I would love to see that because I grew up on indie, like small indie movies, just people made on their credit cards and like a videotape recorder, like.
Oh yay!
So
found
I
footage.
Hope, yeah. I mean, I hope this is the like renaissance of that type of filmmaking. So I think you're where you're supposed to be.
Thank you.
It was lovely chatting with you, and I just can't wait to see what you do next, honestly. I'm looking
Oh,
forward to
thank
it.
you.
So I'm here with Julia Editz, who is the writer, director, and editor of the short Tracy. Hello, Julia. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
So, some background on the project Tracy. How did you come up with the concept, and how long was it from the writing stage to showing it here at OutSouth today?
I first came up with the concept in 2022 when I joined dating apps as an ace person and had some really interesting experiences. I also had some ace friends that were also on the apps, and we all were having kind of the same types of questions asked to us, the same types of myths, the same kind of assumptions and curious questions and things that people didn't know. And so I kind of was like, oh, it would be really cool to like make something that kind of just explained what asexuality is, because once I joined the apps, it became very clear very quick how many people didn't know what it was and all the things that pertain to asexuality. So I had sent a voice note to my best friend and producer Justina. I was like, I wish I just had this video that I could like put on my profile that would just speed run people through it.
Right,
And,
a PSA.
yeah, just like a PSA. And but aside from that, you know, also including like a personal story, like part to kind of draw compassion and empathy towards asexuality, like as opposed to just having the educational aspect. So that's why you see this really long monologue at the end, is to kind of make people feel a little bit more compassionate towards something that they don't quite know about. So it's
Right.
been a long journey. It was the idea for it came at the end of 2022. In 2023, we started a crowdfunding campaign where we did this like preliminary educational series where we did just that, where we did frequently asked questions like, here's a 30-second video on what asexuality is. Here's a 30-second video on the split attraction model and all these different like quick facts. And we also did interviews with people around LA. And then, as well as aces around the world, we did like Zoom interviews. We're like getting up at 5 a.m. so that it wouldn't be like, you know, really late in Malaysia or something like that. So we're like going back and forth with everyone. And so we were releasing these videos each day, trying to get attention to the crowdfunding. We made about 17% of our goal. And so we were like, oh, okay, how are we going to do this with like not enough money? So we spent 2024 kind of like pivoting to like, I did like a podcast about being an alloromantic ace. And then we tried different grants, tried all these different things until it finally came to the point in 2025 where I was like, we just have to make this. I'm going to use some more of my own money that I've been saving, and we'll just do it. Even we cut out a scene, you know, the Tracy that you guys all saw is not like the full what we wanted to make. We had to scale it back, but I'm still really proud of what we did. And finally the editing was done by myself in May 2026. So in full, like a little bit more than 3 years to get this from the script to where it is at OutSouth and all the other festivals.
Well done. That is a commitment.
It's been a journey.
Yeah. You're like on your elbows, like barely hanging on. You're like,
oh my God. There was times where I was like, should I just let this go? And then the other part of me was like, no, never let go of anything.
Right.
That's the type of person.
Yeah. It's like, it seems like the creative process for you was also, it was self-advocacy, you know, bringing this project to life and, like allowing yourself visibility and, you know, your own creative outlet for your identity and for your thoughts and feelings as someone who's trying to date in the world as an asexual person.
Yeah, it's a really different and interesting experience. So I'm hoping maybe if Tracy gets enough traction, the next Ace film, you know, can get all the funding it needs and people will know like what it is. I feel like that's something that kind of like maybe made ours stumble a little bit, is that people who aren't ace are going, well, what am I contributing to? What, I don't really understand this, you know. as much as
The
they
movement.
would. The movement, yeah, just help us out. We're all like have our own money, you know, like we're broke. Like everybody is right now. Everything's so
Yeah.
expensive.
Everything is so expensive. Oh, don't get me started.
I know.
Whew, the terrors. So, who is someone who you'd like to identify who was crucial in the early part of this project, bringing it to life creatively? I know you were talking about texting one of your friends about the original idea. Was it a producer you had early on? Was it your parents? Like, who was really behind this project that made it, who was essential to this project getting finished?
Yeah, my producer Justina, like she was like listening to like voice note, like over Snapchat where I'm like, what if we did this? What if we did that? Oh, wouldn't it be cool with, and she's sending her own ideas. We like went back and forth about this for years, and you know, eventually getting to the like, we might have to cut this scene out if we want to like not go into debt making this like movie. And just like, yeah, she like from day one was like on board, and we had worked together we went to film college together. She's in Chicago though, and she came out for the shoot, but like, so we'd been doing it all remote. She was joining the Zoom calls, like, you know, at 5 a.m. and like all these different things. She was really, yeah, she's like my day oneer for this. And I had other people, other college best friends and like old roommates that in 2023 were like, yeah, sure, I'll be a part of this. And in 2026, we're like, yeah, I'm still, you know, all those years later, didn't forget that they wanted to be, you know, on the set and be a part of it, which was amazing. Yeah, my parents, my family were all just like, be you, do you, you know, be happy. And then also, lastly, the crowdfunding contributors that made it so we didn't totally go have to sell our cars and things to make this movie. Yeah. So they believed in it, you know, from the beginning, from donating in 2023 to finally seeing like their money put to use like in 2025 into 2026. They never lost hope, which I'm very happy for, because I was just like, yeah, like I said earlier, it was just such a journey, like over 3 years to get this to where it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I ask that question of all the filmmakers I'm speaking to for the festival because I feel like it is such a long and disheartening process sometimes. As someone who, I mean, I haven't worked in indie film in almost 20 years, 18 years. But when I was working in indie films, I just remember the scraping and the sleeping on the floors and the chaos of just trying to get one scene shot, you know? And I just know, like, sometimes it's years before you ever get the final product or the good job kind of pat on the back of, oh, I like this. This is great. Like, good job. So
yeah, that interim is so hard because like everybody's at like, where is it at? And I'm like, I'm saving up money, guys. I'm trying. Like, I'm saving as fast as I can. Like,
yeah, I feel you. On a much smaller scale, just getting this podcast up and running, and that was like a year of people being like, you should talk about movies on mic. I'm like, yeah, I don't have a microphone. Like, I don't.
Yeah, all the things
I don't
that
have
go
anything.
Yeah, like the people who don't work in film or media, they're just like, oh,
you should just
push button, make movie, push button, make podcast. Like, it's like, no, it takes so much work.
This is hours.
Yeah.
It's years sometimes. Yeah, it sounds like you had a great support system, which is lovely to hear, because I know that's not always the case in queer filmmaking. So
yeah, I'm very lucky that everybody in my life was really accepting of me, and I try to surround myself with those who are accepting. You know, if you're not, get out of here.
That's as it should be. So we kind of touched on this a little bit early on when you were setting up the concept and the creative process of Tracy, but can you go into a little bit more detail about some of the benefits and challenges to using only one location for this short? I know that was a budgetary constraint at first, so how did you make the most of it creatively, I guess?
Well, I had an amazing director of photography, and he came into the coffee shop a couple times with me and the camera operator, and just kind of was like maximizing, like, what can we do? How can we do the lighting? How can we make it look, you know, like these are all different days and different dates that she's going on. I would say like the benefit of that was that we didn't have to spend time and money transporting the cast and the crew to like completely different locations. You know, it's like, okay, we're here, but this person's stuck in traffic, or this got bumped around, and you know, so it just, stress-wise, I was just like, everybody's here, all the equipment's here, we can just shoot this
One
and
spot.
do this. Yeah, one spot. And yeah, so that was the benefits. The drawbacks to using the one space, it's really funny. We have a behind the scenes video on YouTube of how we made it, and it'll make you laugh at how many people are like ducking kind of like out of the scene, behind the counter, all the flags, all the tripod, everything that like you don't see, that we just had to like get like, okay, there's Tracy and her date and like everything that's out of the way. There's like
and
everybody.
Then 20 people on top of each other.
Yeah, exactly. And what's funny about that particular location in LA and just that day in general was that there was two huge things that kind of tried to prevent us from shooting. And one was that we were shooting a scene with Tracy and the barista, and as soon as I yelled cut, all the power went pew. And we're like, oh, did we like blew the coffee shop because like we had too many lights? So we're like switching the breakers, and we're like, okay, that's weird, it's not coming back on. And we look outside to like the strip mall that the coffee shop is attached to, and there was people coming out of their buildings, and we were like, uh-oh, it's probably this whole strip. We look across the street, there's people coming out of their businesses being like,
oh,
it
no.
It was citywide power outage, over 100,000 people on the one day that we're shooting, the one day that we have this coffee shop rented that I've paid, you know, big bucks for. And I know the owners, like I know that they would have been chill and like worked something out, but we had everybody, there was extras who drove from San Diego, which if you're not from California, that's like 2-hour drive to LA. So we had people that were driving to be a part of this film out of the goodness of their heart, and they got there and the power was out. So there's a BTS photo. Yeah, we can't do anything. Lights, camera, batteries can't recharge. There's a photo of me and my AD Nora and my DP Logan, and we're like crossing out scenes of like, I guess we're gonna have to skip this, because we didn't know when the power is gonna come back on. At that same time, Justina, the producer, is going to our caterer to pick up 22 sandwiches. She gets there and they go, what 22 sandwiches? And so whatever team was supposed to print out the catering order the night before and give it to the morning shift team didn't. So Nora, the assistant director, makes the executive decision to not tell me that that was going on at the same time because I was crashing out about the power.
Yep.
And our camera operator, Eric, he went to go get a generator. Like, we're all freaking out. Like, we're not going to be able to shoot the rest of the film. We've only shot half the film. We only have it for this one day. Daylight is waning. It was, like, the most stressful situation. I was like...
classic, like, Hollywood behind-the-scenes type of story.
Like, the one day that we're shooting, of course, there has to be a citywide power outage. But as soon as Justina and my friend Noah finally got the food, they're, like, walking towards the coffee shop, and all the power came back on. We had the food, and we ended up wrapping out only 30 minutes later than we had anticipated. So it only put us behind. We shot all of this in one day. It was already the tightest possible schedule you can have, and then we lost 30 to 45 minutes because of the power outage. So that was the drawbacks, is that everything in the entire city like tried to prevent us from making this film. We were like joking. We were like, dude, it was so ace-phobic how the power went out like on that one day that we were shooting. Like,
as soon as you get a platform, here they come.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut it down.
Yeah, it was a tough day, but we made it. The cast and crew just like carried it, and everybody stayed calm. I was like internally crashing out, but like everybody was like, it's gonna work out, and it did. So I was really glad.
So it sounds like you had a good team of people around you to keep the crash out internal.
Yes, and they made the right decision by not telling me about the catering mess up. And the caterer made it right. That's why I'm not naming them, but it was a big company that we were like, come on, guys, you had one job.
Lord Almighty, that just made my skin crawl.
Yeah,
So you can find that behind the scenes backup video in the show notes. I will link to it so that y'all can see what Julia is talking about on the Tracy set. So what has been your favorite reaction to the project, to either the final project, if it's been an audience member, if it's been a family member, what's been your favorite response so far to Tracy?
I would say my favorite response has been from both the cast and crew saying things like, I feel so good being a part of this type of project, or we made something really special. We made something that's gonna change people's perspectives and change people's minds. Like, obviously it feels good to get things like, oh, it looks so good. It sounds so good. Great job on the coloring, all these things like,
which are all true, yes.
Yeah. Thank you. That's like obviously makes me really happy too. But like my most favorite reaction has been like some of the extras were like, "Oh, I'm so honored to be a part of something like this. Like we made something really important." And I'm like, "You guys."
So it's from the people who were working on it with you.
Yeah.
That's the best.
That it wasn't just like another gig to them. It was like, "Oh, I really want to be part of this." A lot of people did this pro bono just because they believed in the message, Originally, when we were trying to raise the crowdfunding, we wanted every single person to be paid out, because we're all adults and like we all pay rent and everything.
Yeah.
But obviously without the money, like that wasn't the case. And so we had a lot of people just being like, I believe in this. And like, I know somebody who's ace. I have a family member who's ace. Or I have a friend who's ace. And I want to be a part of this. Like, I want to make things better for them. So it was really
donating
sweet.
Time and resources to the cause.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible. Talk me through a little bit of the casting process. I forgot to ask you this earlier, but how did you find the actors of Tracy?
I did backstage. For a lot of the extras, they were people that I had known in college, or it was a mix of like people I'd known in college and then backstage. But I found the lead, Jaden, through backstage, and she was just like 30 seconds into this 2-minute monologue, I was like, her, she's Tracy. Yeah. Devin was Gabe, who's the date. We don't explicitly say his name in the movie, so I'm like, I wasn't sure if like people are gonna be like, who's Gabe in the credits, but he's
who is Gabe?
Yeah, Gabe is the blonde hair, blue eyed, her date, who's like, this doesn't work for me, but it's good that you're honest with yourself. He is an actor in LA who I had met on my work through AIDS Life Cycle, and that's how I also met the director of photography and the camera operator. So it was a lot of like knowing people and working with them. But yeah, mix of like college friends, coworker friends, and then backstage really came in clutch for the rest of the people. But Jaden just like knocked it out of the park. Like I was just like so blown away by like what I had written like coming into life, and it was like, wow. And I knew that I wanted Tracy to be a woman of color because when we did these interviews all over the world, this recurring theme from a lot of our BIPOC interviewees was, I didn't think that I could be ace because I didn't see anybody that looked like me, because they're thinking of like characters like Todd Sanchez, like from BoJack, white dude, Sheldon Cooper, white dude, Isaac from Heartstopper, white dude. So we were like, all right, white dude, that's covered. Yep. We need a black woman for Tracy.
We got it.
So, yeah, we got it. It's great, like obviously that there's the male representation that people, obviously guys are expected to be these like hypersexual beings, and so it's great that they have that representation. But like that's been done, that's covered.
So are women of color.
Yes. Yeah. Super hypersexualized, and that was another thing that came up in the interviews. And so as we were doing those interviews, it was just like, it was really eye-opening to hear other people's experiences of like, oh, I'm Indian and I didn't think I could be ace because I thought it was a white Western thing, or I'm black and I didn't think it was, could be ace because I don't see any characters that look like me. And it's just like, it's really sad because that wasn't my experience. And, I never had race and asexuality intersect like that. So I knew that was something I wanted to cover, because my own thing was just like, oh, I didn't think I could be ace because I love so much, and when I get a crush on somebody, and I was as a high schooler mixing up sex and romance. If you're not taught the split attraction model, how are you supposed to know that those are two different things when people intertwine them so much? So to hear that there was other people that were like, yeah, I didn't think I could be ace because I love so much, but then on top of that, I didn't see any characters that looked like me. It was just like, wow, that's, that shouldn't be the case. and it's our
Absolutely.
responsibility to make the world better for the next person. Like, we're leaving behind art to make the, we're leaving behind things that we create, whether it's like an invention or a film or music, anything. Like, it's our responsibility to make things better. So
I loved that you made that choice, and it was a conscious decision to shine light to Black women specifically on the queer spectrum, on the ace spectrum specifically. Great choice. As soon as I finished it, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that before either. So, well done. Kudos.
Thank you. I mean, I think it makes her monologue even more powerful.
Right.
If you're considering that aspect, and how many people are trying to discredit her. Are you sure? Are you,
Right.
Like, obviously they ask that to everybody, but it comes with like microaggression when they're asking it specifically to her. So.
Absolutely. So for the audience who is unfamiliar with the split attraction theory that you've mentioned a few times now, what does that mean, and how does that express itself in this work or just personally for you?
Yeah, so the split attraction model, it's something that not a lot of people know about because we associate love and sex so closely. The four most common types to go into would be aesthetic attraction, romantic attraction, sensual attraction, and sexual attraction. Aesthetic attraction is just solely thinking somebody, like, oh, you look nice. You look, a great outfit. Just aesthetically finding somebody pleasing. Mm-hmm. But then romantic attraction is to want to date somebody, want to be in a relationship, want to be in love. Notice that none of those are want to have sex with that person. And that's kind of the thing that people struggle with. And what I struggled with growing up, like, oh, well, love and sex, like those go in the same, but it's not, because there's ace people out there who are like Tracy, who are allo-romantic, where they feel romantic attraction, but not sexual attraction. So then we go into sensual attraction, which is, wanting to cuddle, wanting to kiss, wanting to, just like touch your partner. Still, none of that goes into the sexual realm. And then sexual attraction is wanting to have being sexually attracted to your partner. So there's all these different aspects rather than just like, oh, when people are in love, they are off the bat feeling sexual attraction, feeling romantic attraction, feeling aesthetic attraction, it's split into many different aspects. And that was kind of something with when I talked about the experience on the dating apps of people being like, well, why are you on the apps if you're asexual? And I'm like, I said I'm asexual, not aromantic. Like, I feel, So there's a huge distinction between being asexual and aromantic. And that's kind of like a really big thing that I wanted people to understand watching Tracy, because I'm sure that, 30 seconds into it, some people might be like, well, why is she on a date? Like, doesn't asexual mean that you're also aromantic?
Not
like, there's
always.
A lot of,
So it's to clear misconceptions, basically, and to, like, highlight the differences of asexuality.
Yeah, and to show that love isn't just sex, or sex isn't a huge component, if at all a component, for ace people.
Right.
Intimacy isn't just sex. Intimacy can be so many different things. And I think even people that aren't ace should learn about the split attraction model, not only to understand their ace friends and family, but for themselves to realize what they're feeling and the capacity of what they can feel, rather than love, sex, sensual, all like, classed into one. Yeah. So
yeah, I think that would be very helpful for some people.
Yeah, I think if that was taught in high school, that would show like a lot of students, that they kind of don't spend those years being like, doing what I did, where I'm like, oh, well, I feel so much love, I can't possibly be ace. Mm-hmm. And then you go into this like, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I not like, and you spend these like years of turmoil. So it's just like, that's kind of my hope for Tracy, is that like some really progressive teachers could maybe show it in sex ed or something. Like,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So teachers, if you're watching,
let's get it out there.
Put it on YouTube after. Yeah.
Let's get it out there.
Yeah.
And on that note, do you have anything? I know you just finished this arduous 3-year creative process. What's next? No pressure, but are you working on anything currently?
I've actually been doing like a little writing project that I'm not like entirely sure like what the medium, if it's going to be like a zine or like just a series of social media posts and things. That's not solely about asexuality, but it's going to feature a lot of my asexual perspective on it. And it's going to be about romance and relationships. So hopefully people can see Tracy first, understand that, and then go into this without associating sex with romance so closely. So yeah, just like a writing project that's just in its baby stages, you know, because like you said, yeah, Tracy was just finished and then that took all my time. So now I'm like, I need to fill up my time with another project. I need to like make myself crazy again now. Like,
for the love of the game.
yeah, for the love of the game, honestly.
So you'll have some supplemental print materials soon for the Tracy experience, the Tracy extended universe.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like I usually only like write like film scripts. Like I've never like do like writing. Like that's just not into going into video or film format. So it's been interesting for me. But I'll keep everybody updated on where it goes.
Absolutely, and we'll have a link to all of your info in the show notes as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
You've been fantastic, by the way. Thank you so much.
You.
It's so easy. This is
glad.
your first interview?
This is my first interview, yeah, with a podcast. I mean, like, I've been interviewed in person for, like, a scholarship. Like, I mean, I did do, like, Tracy, like, I did Tracy podcasts. Like, so I was interviewing other people. So, like, you know. I don't know if that was part of it.
Well, I hope this was a fun experience for you.
So fun.
And a memorable one.
Yeah. No, you're great. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
And I was looking at the Widow's Bay. I was looking at you. Yeah. I just finished it too. So I was like, oh wow, this is like perfect timing. Yeah.
Oh God. I don't know what it is about that show, but I feel like every like queer person I know is obsessed with Widow's Bay.
Literally. I was like texted by 2 different people. Have you watched Widow's Bay?
I've been texting everybody for like 2 months straight. I'm like, yo, are you watching Widow's Bay?
You gotta watch it. Watch Widow's Bay. Yep.
I appreciate that so much. That was such a fun show to cover. I'm honestly like really depressed. I have to wait probably 2 years to talk about it again because the modern TV schedule just so sad. But yeah, Widow's Bay, it was like such a great time.
When it comes back.
I know. Oh, so depressing. So yeah, if you're self-promo, if you're looking for anything to listen to that's TV related, I also covered Widow's Bay and Fleabag on my show.
Woo!
Yeah, because I love pain. So thank you, Julia, for joining us today and spending time with us explaining Tracy and walking us through your filmmaking process, letting us know what's upcoming. Where can people follow up with you if they want to stay in the loop on what you've got going on? Where can you be found, and where do you want to be found?
Well, for ACE-related things, they can find us at Tracy Short Film, and Tracy has an E, TRACE, Short Film, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the platforms. And then I can personally be found at Julia Editz on everything except for Instagram, because an imposter has my name. I'm Julia Directs with a Z on Instagram.
Damn.
It's like a faceless Instagram account that hasn't been used since like 2012.
I love that for you.
Instagram, you want to do me a favor?
Right? Yeah.
Hey, Meta.
While we're asking for favors, yeah. No, they don't like me. Don't ask. Oh, God. Don't ask Meta for favors on my show.
No, the Tracy Short Film account, they like restricted our promotion. I don't know, probably because it had the word sex in asexual.
Sex,
yeah, they were like, nope, you can't promote anything.
I stay getting shadow banned on my personal account because I won't stop talking about Palestine. So that's my bad.
Yeah. I talked about voting on my personal TikTok, and then the next one got like 12 views.
10 views, yep.
Yeah. Telling people to vote and how to vote and where they can vote. They don't want that. They don't want to see us voting.
No, literally they don't. So they don't. No. We have proof. So yeah. I love it. Anyway, thank you for joining. All right, so we'll be sure to post all of those links in our show notes. And once again, thank you, Julia, for joining us on Post Film Clarity. I would love to have you back sometime. If you ever want to come back on, talk movies, talk TV, let me know.
I'd love that. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This has been really meaningful.
Thank you, Mariana, for joining us all the way from Belgium in this pre-recorded section.
Thank you for an invitation. Thank you for the festival, for also hosting our film and the audience to watch the film. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. So I wanted to jump right in with a couple questions just on the creative process side of everything you want. So walk me through how you came up with the concept for this short, and how long was the creative process from the writing all the way to premiering here at OutSouth?
So the concept for the film, I was very much inspired in my own experience arriving in Brussels, because I'm Brazilian and I came to Brussels to study my master's, to do a master's in film. And then this experience of being a migrant here in Brussels made me think about a lot of things and made me feel different things as well. And I feel that the concept came from this experience, and also in this reflection on how migrants can be in two places at the same time, because we bring all our cultural backgrounds with us, all our references with us, but we are in another country and another continent, but all our history and background and culture is still with us. So it's kind of, it creates this complex mosaic of two experiences inhabiting the same body, the same space. And this thing is a kind of what I felt, that I was always like in this in between two worlds, and also observing the city, observing other people from other continents here in Brussels, that it's super diverse. I was always thinking about this concept of in between two worlds. So I think this was how the concept was born, expanding to not just like geographical places and different cultural backgrounds, but also in between dream and reality, fantasy and concrete world. Also polyamory situations. That is like, to create these characters, I was also thinking about in between friendship and love. And from the process of writing, the beginning of the writing, I started in December 2023. I think it's 2 years and a half. And
Wow.
yeah, 2 years and a half. But we've been distributing the film for 1 year. So the premiere of the film was May 2025.
So along that journey of getting this project produced, who was somebody in your life that believed in you early on, that helped you bring this project to life?
Yes, it was my producer, Nikos Akritidis. He's one of my best friends. And we met through working together. And when I told him that I wanted to make a film about Brazilians in Brussels, right away he was like very curious and wanting to know more and wanting to develop this with me. And his first experience producing a film was with me, and he did great. It's crazy.
Wow.
Because
this is his first time producing?
Yes. And I think he just did it because of also like the strength of friendship, of like wanting to see this happen and trusting each other. So he was, okay, I'm going to be the producer of the film. Let's go. Because I didn't have a producer. So he was like, okay, I'm tired of seeing you without a producer. Let's do it.
So it's partially him believing in you and partially him just wanting you to actually get going on the project.
Yeah. He was producing, he always produced like, he's a curator, art visual curator, but also he produces like art exhibitions, etc. But as a producing a film was his first experience, but he already had the good feeling for it and he did great. Yeah.
Absolutely. You cannot tell that this is anybody's first time doing anything. Talk to me about casting your actors a little bit. What was that process like?
I had quite a long process of casting, and one of the casting directors of the film was also one of the actresses, that is Mariana Queiroz. For me, it was very important to have a Brazilian or Spanish-speaking Latin American actors. I really needed people from Latin America, and it was difficult to find because sometimes people from Spain wanted to make part of the auditions. Then I decided to work with non-actors because the trio, two of them are non-actors and one of them is an actress. And by the way, she was also, before, she was a casting director, but I saw her during the auditions playing with the people who were in the auditions, and she did great. And I was like, okay, from casting director, you would be one of the actresses because you are doing very, like, you are this character. So she became one of the characters as well.
Walk me through, speaking of acting, I loved the final musical number in this short. Yeah, just I'm curious how you created that and how you shot that. What was the meaning behind the final musical number in Everything You Want?
Yeah, the final musical number was shot in Beaux-Arts. That is one of the most important cultural spaces here in Brussels that also carries a very symbolic status in this way, because like this building, sometimes when the queen comes to see a concert, there's a room for the queen and all this royalty things. So it's a kind of it carries this symbolism. And to talk about migration and diasporas, one of the meanings behind the scene is like migrants can occupy whatever the places they want to occupy. So that's why I decided to have this scene in Beaux-Arts. I just thought like I really need to film in this big room, like big and super symbolic space. And that's why, yeah, we filmed there. And so also because we jump from a kind of dreamy underground club to this space. At this transition, it was also something that for me was interesting, like in this sense of occupying different spaces. We can be in these clubs, we can be in Beaux-Arts, we can be and a drag queen, a Brazilian drag queen will be singing for us and making us dream more and more and more, you know. That's why.
So this was an act of rebellion in a way, resistance to like white European spaces. Is that accurate?
Yes, in the sense, yes, but mainly not just white European spaces, but I think mainly colonialism, because migration comes from this, right? Like, it's because our countries, they were so much exploited that all the migrants had to leave their countries and come to places that have more other perspectives of jobs, work, and income, etc. So, and it is a very crazy thing because, like, now Europe has to be aware of this and open the doors, no, not close, because this is responsibility, it's historical responsibility. Like, you created this, now you changed our ways of being back then, and now we are changing our ways of being as well, because it's like, this is how it goes, no? So it's like, yeah. So I think it's more like, as the film talks about migrants and etc. It's, the final scene was related with this. I wanted to be related with this, with colonialism, that migration is just a symptom of colonialism.
Right. It's the displacement aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I wanted to ask you, what was the meaning behind some of the more supernatural aspects of this story?
I think it's related to this of, being between two worlds, in the sense of how can we expand this concept in other layers, including this, magic and realism. And Latin Americans, we love magic realism. So I think the way that I write is a lot related with, like, without me being conscious of this, I just write in a way that is after I realize, like, this is magic realism. And I think it's very much, rooted in the Brazilian culture. And so I think, yeah, I think it comes from this. And, also because of that, of like, as a migrant, sometimes we can live in two different spaces at the same time. And this is already a bit, supernatural, no?
Right.
So, yeah.
It's sort of time travel.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that as a concept. What's been your favorite reaction to the project thus far?
Can it be even before the film was completed? Because I have a very funny one. Because Nikos once, Nikos once, he called me. We were in pre-production, and then he called me telling what happened one day before. One day before, he received a call from a policeman saying, Nikos Akritides, I saw that you are the producer of Everything You Want, directed by Mariana Machado. And I saw that the film talks about and has the influence of magic realism. Is this correct? And this was like 9 p.m. 9 p.m. he got this call. And then the guy said, Nikos, yes, it's correct. And he was like afraid to get this call at 9 p.m. And then the police guy, he said, okay, I just want to let you know that I love magic realism, and I'm gonna, save all the streets, the whole area, for you to film this scene that you sent for. I'm gonna save it all for you, okay?
So he was blocking the street for you to get the shots that you needed for the exteriors?
Yes. And
wow.
we needed like, a long area. But then he just, he gave what we needed, and he also gave us even more than we needed. During pre-production, we have to send some permits for the Film Commission of, Brussels. And in these permits, we have to, say the places that we're gonna film, the streets that we need to block, da, 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 da. So we also have to send the synopsis, etc. And then the synopsis, there were this brief description of the film, like mentioning magic realism. So, he got, excited about the synopsis, I think. Then he called the producer. Yeah.
I don't see many policemen in America acting that way.
Yeah, me
So.
neither. No, and in Belgium, it's not like this.
It's like, hey, can I help? Like, what?
What?
Me?
Yeah, I think we were very lucky. Yeah.
Definitely. That's a blessed production right there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I really appreciate you adjusting for the time differences to speak with us here. So to wrap up, I'm going to ask you two questions. One I didn't put in the document, so I'm sorry if I'm putting you on the spot, but I want to ask you, what's the last thing you've seen that you really loved, just as a consumer and as a creator, if you have anything upcoming?
I got, sick for 1 week, and I watched all Kiarostami's films. So
Whoa.
not all, but like 7 of them or 6. I think just this film director is brilliant, and just mentioning him, I think is the first film director that got to my mind now. Iranian. And upcoming projects. So after Everything You Want, I just launched another film, and that's had this premiere in June in Brazil, and it's my first feature film. So
Oh,
yeah, it's a documentary. It's about indigenous leadership. His name is Davi Copenau Yanomami, and his journey from Amazon to my region in Brazil, that is Minas Gerais, and how he discusses the perspective of the Yanomami people, that is his ethnicity, in dealing with the land and in relationship with the land, and how it's completely different from the non-indigenous way of relating with the land as natural resources and not as like entity, etc. So it's a documentary about this trip from Amazon to Minas Gerais to discuss also extractivism and illegal gold mining in Amazon and iron mining in Minas Gerais.
amazing. So will there be an opportunity for your international audience to check this out online, or are you going to keep it in film distribution or festival distribution for a while?
It would be in festival distribution for a while. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it'll be another story about colonialism,
Yeah.
but more direct.
More direct, much more.
I see.
Yes. Yes.
I love
About
that.
mining. Yeah. That is, mining just exists because of colonialism.
Exactly.
So yeah.
As do most structures.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. So thank you for joining me, Mariana. Thank you for your time. I'm really happy I got to see this ahead of the festival so that I was able to connect with you and learn more about you and your work. So thank you for sharing that with me and with the audience here at OutSouth.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm very happy with this conversation as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.